Part 5. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao Bai Sheng Wu. Chapter 41. When countless singers, pop stars, and even superstars are still trying to get votes for their songs, swipe the screen and even hire Water Army, a song has become known to all Chinese people through Weibo hot search. In modern society, are there people who don't use Weibo? Yes. But there are very few. Weibo, as a platform based on user relationship information sharing, dissemination, and acquisition, has very interesting comments and news every day. So most young people will habitually browse Weibo every day, and the hot search list is where they often check. Because the Weibo that can be on the hot search list is the most eye-catching news at the moment. The popularity values of Weibo hot search list, names in hot searches, etc. are ranked according to various factors such as the number of reposts, likes and Weibo posting time of the Weibo. Only those who can rank in the top few of the entire period can be on the Weibo hot search list. Then things that can attract so many people to watch are naturally things that everyone likes to hear and see. At noon today, a Weibo suddenly jumped to the top of the hot search within an hour. This Weibo is the evaluation of Sakura Wants to See You by Li Weifa. Although Li Wei is famous in a small circle and has 6 million followers, this is not enough for China's 2.3 billion people. However, when the singers and movie stars who follow Li Wei like and forward the post one by one, and even speak out in praise, the spread is too wide. When Xiaolu, a first-line Chinese movie star, first liked and forwarded the post, fans and actors who followed him also curiously clicked on the link, and naturally forwarded it consciously. One person spreads 10 spreads 100, what's more, the people who forwarded the post are all the big stars who have been exposed to the public. In one afternoon, Sakura Wants to See You has never been off the hot search list, and when Saori Asada posted on Weibo, the entire music circle was completely shaken. After listening to the song Sakura Wants to See You recommended by teacher Li Wei, and watching the MV, I felt an indescribable feeling of being moved. Sakura, as a symbol of the Japanese people, represents life, happiness, and never giving up in one's lifetime. In modern society, there are very few songs that can fully express the flower language of cherry blossoms, let alone the perfect melody and voice. I didn't expect to meet her today. Thank you Teacher Shuabai for your dedication to Japanese songs. This song has extraordinary meaning. If Teacher Shuabai can see this Weibo, can you contact me? I haven't given gifts to fans for a year. I want to cover this song. The reward will definitely satisfy you. If any friends know Teacher Shuabai, I hope you can tell me privately. After saying that, he also posted a photo of himself bowing on Weibo. Who is Saori Asada? This is one of the 2 Japanese queens in China and the spiritual symbol of the Japanese people. She is already in her early 40s, but she still maintains the most dazzling charm of women, like a delicate face of a 20-year-old, which made her once selected as the most charming woman. Nearly 400 million followers have exposed her every move to the public. As the singer of Sakura Never Withers, gentleness, purity, and strength are synonymous with her. In the early days, Saori Asada was once the dream lover of all men. However, such a queen has not released a single for a year, let alone an album. It's not that Saori Asada doesn't want to release it, but there are no songs that can satisfy her. Saori Asada received songs from countless arrangers in a year, but she politely declined them all. Some songs are of good quality, but the problem of the melody made her reluctantly refuse. So for a whole year, she didn't release a song. She naturally felt guilty for her fans, because no one in her fan club urged her, but waited silently. So after Sakura Wants to See You became popular today, she clicked on it and listened to it, and felt the excitement she had never had before. She wanted to cover this song. However, she didn't know who Shuabai was, and there was no news about this person in the music circle. She had no choice but to ask for help from Weibo after learning about this song from Weibo. However, this was shocking. As a queen, she had countless original songs of good quality, but she said she wanted to cover this song Sakura Sakura Wants to See You. Is this song Sakura Sakura Wants to See You so magical? Those who haven't heard it clicked on the link to experience it as soon as possible. Those who have heard it express strong expectations, looking forward to what Asada Sayori's version of Sakura Sakura Wants to See You would look like. Of course, there was also a group of people who ran to a King's Weibo in anticipation, and kept pressing the refresh button to see what the other party would say. Hard work pays off. 1 minute after Asada Sayori posted on Weibo, Chen Xiao, the king of Chen, immediately posted a Weibo. I just heard this song and wanted to post it on Weibo, but considering that I am not a professional Japanese singer, I didn't say anything for fear of making people laugh. I didn't expect Sayori to be the first person to come out and praise this song. Teacher Li Wei has already said all the advantages of the melody and voice of this song, so what I want to say is that the singer's voice gives me a feeling, which is amazing. I searched my mind and suddenly found that there is no such light and ethereal voice in the Chinese music scene. If I express my opinion in one sentence, it is, the other party is a genius with a unique voice that makes people linger after listening. So, Sayori, do you really want to cover this song when the music MV and the other party's voice are amazing? I think your voice is actually not suitable for this song. At Sayori Asada. Thank you Mr. Chen for your advice, but this song really touched me the first time. It shows the most beautiful scene in the world. I know that I can't surpass the original version, but I didn't say that I would express it with the light-hearted feeling of the original author. If Mr. Chen knows the contact information of teacher Shuabai, he can contact me. Finally, I am not the first person to praise this song. At Chen Xiao. If I find the contact information of teacher Shuabai, will you date me? At Asada Sayori. When Chen Xiao posted this Weibo, netizens all expressed their delight. The reason why they came to Chen Xiao's Weibo after Asada Sayori posted a Weibo was because Chen Xiao was pursuing Asada Sayori. This is no longer a secret in the entertainment industry, and Chen Xiao has been pursuing Asada Sayori for 5 years, but has not succeeded until today. The fans of both of them have long been indistinguishable from each other. After all, Chen Xiao is a superstar, in his 40s this year, with outstanding looks, singing skills, and good character in the circle. He is considered to be half of the Chinese music scene. So Asada Sayori's fans think that if their idol marries Chen Xiao, they will have no reason to object. After all, Asada Sayori is in her early 40s and it's time for her to get married. And being married doesn't mean she can't sing. If Mr. Chen can let Mr. Shuabai grant me the right to cover the song, and let me discuss the feelings of this song with Mr. Shuabai in person, I can consider dating Mr. Chen. Carrot at Chen Xiao. Oh my god. Is this a promise? Countless fans were shocked. After chasing Asada Sayori for 5 years, she didn't express her attitude, but today she actually gave in because of the right to cover a song. At this moment, many fans who don't know much about music also felt the quality of Sakura Sakura Wants to See You. After all, no song has been recognized by Sayori Asada for a year, but this one alone made her heart beat. Really? At Sayori Asada. Of course it's true. As long as Mr. Chen can help me find teacher Shuabai, I will consider it carefully. Of course, Mr. Chen is not allowed to use bad means, otherwise if teacher Shuabai is angry, I will be angry too. At Chen Xiao. Brothers and sisters, did you see it? My happiness depends on you. Apart from anything else, as long as you can help me find teacher Shuabai, I will have a national tour next year, and all tickets are free. And next year, there will be a new album, all free, dedicated to everyone. I only ask people who know teacher Shuabai to help me inform this matter, and then ask if they are willing to help me be a matchmaker. Finally, Chen Xiao also attached a photo of himself kneeling down, which seemed to have been taken just now, which made everyone spray. "Brother Chen, don't worry. I will dig out the fountain pen even if I dig 3 feet deep. Uncle Chen, don't worry. You're going to marry Sayori Asada. Damn, it feels like a carnival. This kneeling is so terrifying. Thanks to some unscientific red and white for rewarding 10,000 Kidian coins and becoming the guardian of this book. Don't worry, the article won't collapse OVO. As usual, please vote for recommendation. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 42. As a superstar, Chen Xiao's appeal is undoubtedly very strong. Even though many fans are working or studying at noon, when he posted a photo of him begging, everyone was like chicken blood, and they kept shouting on the internet. Google searched Ken. They saw Chen Xiao implicitly chatting with Asada Sayori on Weibo a few years ago, and then publicly pursuing her, and that kind of perseverance really moved them. Of course, when Chen Xiao began to announce his pursuit, he also said that he actually liked Asada Sayori before he became famous, and it was because of her that he mustered up the courage to enter the music industry. When the other party was still a queen, he was still a newcomer. It was not until now that he became successful that he mustered up the courage to pursue the other party on Weibo, but he failed. And this time, with countless people witnessing, Chen Xiao actually found an opportunity to pursue her and let Asada Sayori loosen up. This made the fans happy, and they also began to track down the whereabouts of Shuabai teacher on the internet. The first Weibo post that everyone noticed was Su Ying's. After all, according to normal people's thinking, most music MVS have themselves as the protagonists, but when they entered Su Ying's Weibo, they found that the other party had already clarified it. Under the other party's Weibo post, there was a comment that was liked countless times. Shuabai teacher is the roommate of Jingshu, the up-host of B Station, and Jingshu does not use Weibo and does not have a Weibo account. So if you want to know about Shuabai teacher, please leave a message in the comment area of B Station, and don't make the wrong person again. The Weibo posts of the other 2 or 3 actors have been trampled by you, my god. Have you played too much StarCraft? Or have you played too much Blind Man? The link to B Station was also attached under the comment, and there were many insiders complaining fiercely below, saying that teacher Li Wei had said it, and the video also showed that so many people made the mistake, how blind they were. On this secret-free network, the fans of Chen Xiao and Asada Sayori clicked on the link and rushed into the music area of B Station. However, less than 5 minutes after rushing in, everyone was dumbfounded. First, Jingshu, the up-host, does not use Weibo, so things on Weibo will not affect reality unless they ferment for another day, so the other party does not know about this matter now. Second, many people found that they could not join Jingshu's fan group to ask about the situation. Although Lin Jingshu is a up-host, her fame on Bilibili can only be said to be neither good nor bad, so when she created a QQ group, she only created a group of 2,000 people, and she had no intention of expanding it, so most people were blocked from the group. And those who wanted to add friends also found that the other party had set up problems. At this moment, everyone was speechless, they were actually blocked at such a critical step. While most people were laughing and crying, they clicked on the video, and then were scared by the barrage that dominated the screen. With a curious and uneasy mentality, they closed the barrage and started watching the MV and listening to the music. At about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Lin Jingshu woke up slowly. At noon, she posted a song and started to do homework and take notes. At 3 o'clock, she was a little tired, so she lay on the bed and took a nap. Rubbing her eyes, Lin Jingshu covered her mouth and yawned cutely, then came to the computer. I don't know how the song is going. To be honest, Lin Jingshu was still a little nervous. When Susiener sang Sakura Sakura Wants to See You at the beginning, she was really amazed, so she was instantly addicted to it and wanted to share it with everyone. but she didn't know whether other people liked this song. She couldn't be sure about this, after all, everyone's taste is different. After turning on the computer, Lin Jingshu logged into the B Station account at the first time, and then opened the video she posted. 38 million, Lin Jingshu, who was still a little sleepy, looked at the number of hits on the video and woke up instantly, then looked at the more than 100,000 online viewers next to her, and she was a little scared. Because the act development in this world is not very developed, B Station is not like the previous life, which is already open to the public and famous throughout China, and even some singers are stationed on B Station. The development of B Station in this world is undoubtedly also slow, but there is still a big gap with the previous life. The 100,000 viewers almost wiped out 2/3 of the usual number of people online at Bilibili. What's going on? Lin Jingshu's first reaction was actually a little panic. Then she clicked on the video and looked at the dense barrage of comments, which were filled with various advanced barrages. The computer that was originally running smoothly was made very slow by the barrage of comments in this video. As for the content of the video, it was completely invisible. Lin Jingshu could only close the website and click on the video again. This time she did not click on the video, but turned to the comment area. The 7-digit comments instantly blinded her eyes. She suspected that she had seen it wrong, and counted them one by one. At this time, Lin Jingshu didn't even read the comments, she logged into QQ directly, then opened the QQ group and said, "What happened? I was just taking a nap." It appeared. "Go, Master Ball. Xiaojing, my wife, you finally came out? If you don't show up, Weibo will explode." Shock, the newbie is trembling. Is this teacher Jingshu? I just joined the group today, please recognize my face. Everyone talked a lot, and Lin Jingshu saw the speed of the screen refresh and directly banned everyone. What happened? Did you give my video a click? Lin Jingshu was very confused at the moment. You know, the click volume of B Station is calculated according to IP. More than 38 million clicks in one afternoon made her feel like she was dreaming. It's like this. The manager came out to explain when he saw this. He talked for 10 minutes. Although the ordinary members in the group couldn't speak at this moment, they had already started to take screenshots and broadcast for people in other groups. Obviously, what happened from noon to now is really exciting. After all, the rhythm is still led by the king and queen. However, Lin Jingshu only has one fan group, and 10 minutes after the video was posted, many newcomers joined the group, so the group was soon full. Without Lin Jingshu's consent, the manager naturally couldn't open a second fan group on his own initiative, and most of the people didn't know Jingshu before, and they came only after hearing Sakura wants to see you. It can be said that the original fan group of 1,500 people has 500 more fans of Shuabai, and the original fans in the group have also been conquered by this song. More importantly, when Sakura wants to see you shocked the Queen Asada Sayori, for some reason everyone in the group felt an inexplicable sense of pride, because this song was released by their idol Jingshu, and they were the first to hear this song. When Lin Jingshu heard so many things happen in the afternoon, she was stunned. After a few seconds of reaction, she said in a panic, "I'll go and tell her, you wait for my reply." Lin Jingshu didn't expect this song to alarm Asada Sayori. You know, this woman is her idol. She has admired her since she was a child. She is a loyal fan of her. She didn't expect that she would want to cover Sakura wants to see you. While excited, Lin Jingshu didn't agree to it. After all, this is not her song. Just when Lin Jingshu was hurriedly preparing to go to Susiena's room, she saw Susiena ready to knock on her door as soon as she opened the door. The sudden opening of the door scared Susiena. Then she saw Lin Jingshu looking at her excitedly, and Susiena realized, Jingshu, judging from your expression, you should know what I am going to do. Are you ready? Thanks to the helmsman of Knife Cut Orange for the reward. Ovo, don't worry, the article will not collapse. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 43. Certainly. Lin Jingshu was also startled when she suddenly saw Susienner, but as soon as Susienner finished speaking, Lin Jingshu nodded excitedly. I used to think that Susienner didn't understand these things, but after thinking about it, I realized that she was overthinking it. After all, she missed the hot discussion on Weibo at noon because she was sleeping, but now she understands the situation when she wakes up. And Susienner must have known what was going on in the room at noon, so he should come over now to have some airtime with her. Writing this, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. Because no one can find each other, only through her QQ group can we know about Susienner's situation. Jingshu, your ideological consciousness is really too high. Hearing this, Susienner held Lin Jingshu's hand movedly. Seeing the other person's face turned red with excitement, she knew that the other person didn't care that she was a book. The cartoonist sighed, I believe the fans will definitely remember your contribution. Although you are unknown, I will thank you on their behalf. Lin Jingshu smiled when she heard this. Student Su, your ideological consciousness is the highest. After all, it is your thing. If fans want to thank you, of course they thank you. And the decision-making power is in your hands. I have no right to help you make the decision. Susienner said nothing, and gave a thumbs up to Lin Jingshu, then slowly put the thing in her hand into Lin Jingshu's hand. Since you said so, let's put it on. Ah, Lin Jingshu looked confused and subconsciously took the thing handed over by Susienner, then held it in front of her eyes and looked at it with doubt on her face. What is this? He picked up several rope-like things tied together in his hand. There was a small piece of purple cloth in the middle, and there was a gap in the middle of the cloth that seemed to be cut with a knife. Lin Jingshu looked back and forth, and finally straightened the rope slightly with both hands. Suddenly, the atmosphere around her seemed to solidify. As time passed by, Lin Jingshu's face, which was originally reddish due to excitement, seemed to have received a strong shock, and her neck gradually turned red visibly to the naked eye. Her neck, face, ears, it seemed that even her body was red. Her whole body was like a cooked crayfish, exuding a dizzy aura, like a steam girl. Lin Jingshu, whose thoughts were strongly impacted, lowered her head and couldn't even look. Looking at Susienner, she opened her mouth and stammered, what is this? Let those of the opposite sex with add 10 combat power get better weapons. Seeing this, Susienner asked curiously, didn't you just say you were ready? Why are you so shy? As she said that, she forced another thing in her hand. He handed it to the other party and said, hurry up and put on these 2 pieces. Let me know after you've changed them. I bought these on Dobayo. It's just a few pieces of cloth, but the quality is very good and you won't feel uncomfortable wearing it. You said before that you were going to collect materials for me, so you are not allowed to go back on it. Lin Jingshu held the 2 things in her hands tremblingly, looked at Susienner with tearful eyes, and cried, that's not what I'm talking about. Lin Jingshu finally reacted and grabbed Susienner. He stuffed the thing in his hand back to Susienner, shook his head vigorously and said, I won't wear this thing, it would be so shameless. You promised me. Susienner wrinkled her nose and said nonchalantly, what's there to be ashamed of? The union of men and women is the way of heaven, so women wearing sexy clothes can be a weapon to conquer men. This has gone beyond the category of sexy. Lin Jingshu was about to burst into tears. You still let me wear something so immodest? If anyone knows. How could it be known? If neither of us said anything, who would tell it? Susienner interrupted directly, and you said before that you would let me collect the information, but it only took so long that you regretted it. Where is your faith? But, that's not what I was talking about just now. At this moment, Lin Jingshu was completely confused and looked at Susiana with watery eyes. What I want to say is about Sakura. Sakura wants to see you. It's too clumsy to change the subject, Susiana said disgustedly. Well, since you don't want to wear it, I won't force you, but you promised me to pose before, so you can't do this request. Say no. Seeing that Susiana finally gave up, Lin Jingshu breathed a sigh of relief, and then nodded happily. Of course, this is what I promised you after all. As long as you don't wear shameless clothes and pants, you can do anything. Obviously Lin Jingshu has forgotten about the song Sakura. Sakura wants to see you. It's like this. I encountered something rather troubling when I was drawing comics. Susiana walked in directly, scratched her head, and said distressedly, it's about how men and women should pose when they are fighting. Hey, classmate Su, are you drawing martial arts comics? Seeing that the other party didn't mention those two things, Lin Jingshu breathed a sigh of relief, and then she became interested when she heard Susiana's words. Although she didn't like reading, she had Susiana's painting style surprised her, so now she really wants to see the comics drawn by him. That's right, Susiana said without changing her expression, and her little face was serious. Let's not talk about it for now. Let's simulate it. You lie down on the bed. Oh, okay. Lin Jingshu obeyed obediently and lay down on the bed. Susiana also climbed up. Lin Jingshu looked at Susiana, who was getting closer, and her face curled up slightly. Why are you coming up too? Of course it's a simulated battle, Susiana said matter-of-factly. The place where I got stuck was the physical fight between the male protagonist and the female protagonist. The male protagonist is an assassin and is good at personal attacks, while the female protagonist is good at silver needles. The male protagonist found an opportunity to knock the female protagonist to the ground. Originally, the dagger was about to pierce the female protagonist's chest, but the female protagonist naturally found an opportunity to resist, and I have been thinking about this scene all afternoon, but I can't draw it. I can only find you. Helped. Susiana did not lie. You must know that the postures in the book are all kinds of weird, and some are extremely exaggerated. However, it is the exaggerated postures that make many readers salivate. After all, reality cannot be that difficult. Susiana, whether in her previous life or now, has never experienced a close-up fight between a man and a woman, so naturally she can't imagine it. So that's it, Lin Jingshu suddenly realized. Then what should I do now? You put up a victory pose. Yes, that's it. Imagine holding two silver needles in your hands, and then smile, because you think you are going to succeed in your counterattack. Then you look dazed, and you were hit by a man before. The master's poison, although his consciousness is still there, has gradually faded away. By the way, you squeeze my waist with your legs, because the heroine is also good at leg skills. It's so difficult. I'm not a professional actor, so I can't show my micro-expressions. Lin Jingshu assumed this pose, with a stiff smile on her face. She felt something was wrong all over, and she couldn't help complaining, and in this case, my legs have no strength at all. How is it possible to trap the enemy with your leg skills? Nonsense, the heroine is a professional and has been practicing since childhood. You. What are you doing? When Chen Shui saw Lin Jingshu's door open and wanted to come over to ask her if she wanted to have dinner, she was completely confused and stunned when she saw the scene in front of her. Thanks to Knife Cut Orange for becoming the hall leader. Thanks to the helmsman of If I Were a Genius for the reward. Susiana, I feel so tired from deceiving young girls. Please give me some recommendation votes to encourage me. VO transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 44. What are you doing? Searched Can on Google. Chen Shui stared at the two people dumbfounded, and her whole outlook was strongly impacted. As a senior in college, Chen Shui, who is now 22 years old, can naturally understand the postures of Susianer and Lin Jingshu. But because she could understand it, she felt messy. Lin Jingshu saw the corners of Chen Shui's eyes light up, gently pushed Susianer away and said, "You can show off to Sister Chen. Isn't she from the sports team? She has a better physique than me, so she must be more skilled than me. Only a ghost can master this posture." Chen Shui complained in her heart. Susianer curled her lips. Although she thought Lin Jingshu was right, this guy would definitely not allow her to mess around. She glared at Chen Shui with a fierce look in her eyes. However, Susianer obviously had no deterrent effect at all. Chen Shui breathed a sigh of relief when she saw that the two of them had no intention of continuing. Lin Jingshu's posture just now really had a great impact on her. She wanted to remind him, but thinking that she was Susianer's assistant, she could only pretend that she didn't see him colluding with her. "After collecting the materials, you eat first, and I'll eat later." Susianer waved her hand. She sneaked out to look for food after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so naturally she wasn't hungry now. Wait, only then did Lin Jingshu remember that there were important things she hadn't said to Susianer, so she pulled the other party to prevent her from leaving. Under the curious eyes of Susianer and Chen Shui, Lin Jingshu hurriedly explained what had just happened. She realized that it had been delayed for a long time. If she hadn't said anything else, everyone would have been impatient. "What?" Chen Shui's eyes widened. She felt like she was listening to a book from heaven. She was watching TV on the sofa. Such a thing happened online, and looking at Susianer with suspicion, this guy can actually sing. It's incredible. Now many singers and arrangers on the internet are praising this song by classmate Su. The most important thing is that Queen Asada Saori wants to cover this song. After saying that, Lin Jingshu looked at Susianer expectantly and said, "Mr. Su, just agree to let Saori sing the cover. I really want to hear her cover of Sakura Sakura Wants to See You. Didn't I tell you to handle this song? You agreed." Susianer was about to agree when something suddenly occurred to her. She picked up the two-piece suit on the bed and stuffed it into Lin Jingshu's hand. "Put it on and I will agree." It was obvious that Susianer had no intention of giving up at all. She had just gotten Lin Jingshu's black face. Although she was very stiff, she was already very satisfied. However, human desires are infinite, so Susianer naturally found every opportunity to exploit them. "What is this?" Chen Shui looked at it and curiously took it from Lin Jingshu's hand, whose face was red. She threw it directly on the bed with a look of disgust and spat, "Susianer, you little pervert, what are you doing?" "Everything." Chen Shui knew that Susianer must be drawing the second episode of the Susien series. After all, the last scene of the first episode was probably based on Lin Jingshu, the girl next door. As a cartoonist, when he gets stuck, he must think to obtain materials. It's just that this is the first time she has seen the cartoonist's material. She doesn't know what comes to mind, but Chen Shui always feels that her life will be miserable in the future. This. Lin Jingshu said this for a long time, and finally looked at Susianer with tears in her eyes. "Do you know alchemy?" Susianer ignored Lin Jingshu's eyes and said seductively, "This is an exchange of equal value. If you want to get it, you must pay first." Chen Shui curled her lips and said, "I'm going to cook, you guys can chat." After saying that, Chen Shui hurried to the kitchen. She was afraid that if Lin Jingshu asked her for help, the fun would be over by then. While walking, she took out her mobile phone and logged into Weibo. She wanted to see how much impact what happened at noon today had. Lin Jingshu watched Chen Shui disappear, and then watched Susianer look at her expectantly. After hesitating for a long time, her voice sounded like a mosquito, "But, can you owe me a star, for a month?" After saying this, Lin Jingshu felt like her whole body was broken. Of course, Susianer was shocked. She didn't expect Lin Jingshu to actually agree. After all, She was just testing it out. If the other party was very resistant, she couldn't force it. It's just that she obviously underestimated the influence of Saori Asada in the other person's heart, or the influence of music in the other person's heart. Thinking of this, Susienner suddenly became excited. Since the other party likes music so much, then she can trade with the other party using music. There are so many classic songs in her mind, and this body's voice is unique and full of charm. How could Lin Jingshu escape from her clutches then? If this idea were known by the singers in the previous life, Susienner's head would definitely be smashed for using beautiful music to make such a dirty deal. Lin Jingshu still looked uneasy. After all, she was going to wear something like that within a month. The joy of Asada Saori's cover was completely offset by the emotions in her heart at this time. By the way, when I was drawing comics yesterday, I improvised a song. It's a Japanese song. Do you want to hear it? Seeing this, Susienner suddenly spoke. Really? Lin Jingshu looked at Susienner with bright eyes, nodded with strong expectation. I want to hear it, I want to hear it. Lin Jingshu didn't understand Susienner's voice problem before. She just saw what Chen Tianwang said on Weibo and realized that Susienner is a genius with a unique voice that is endlessly memorable. No wonder she has been listening to it recently. Loop, obsessed with Susienner's voice. You know, if you listen to a song over and over again, no matter how classic and pleasant it is, you will get tired of it one day. However, Lin Jingshu has been listening to Susienner's Sakura Sakura Wants to See You since she recorded it, and she has never felt tired of it. If you want to listen to it, of course, wait a month. Susienner smiled evilly. Hearing this, Lin Jingshu understood that she was going to let her wear it first. She looked at Susienner with resentment, and then looked at the things on the bed, but suddenly found that it was not so scary. Taking a deep breath, Lin Jingshu mustered up the courage to nod. Don't worry, I will definitely wear it within a month. Then leave this thing here, I'll go back to draw comics first. Susienner looked satisfied and inspired. Wait. Lin Jingshu pulled Susienner again, and seeing that she was confused, it's like this, do you want to register a Weibo account? Lin Jingshu did not have the idea of expanding her fan base, because she was in the third year of high school and was at a critical time, but she couldn't bear to let so many fans be rejected because of a QQ group. So Lin Jingshu thought about registering a Weibo account. If Susienner has a song in the future, she will post it on Weibo, so that everyone can save the trouble of looking for it. No problem, you decide. No, this is your Weibo from now on, of course you decide. I don't have time to play Weibo, why don't you help me manage it? In her previous life, Susienner was the kind of person who didn't play Weibo much, but liked to hang out on Taiba, Bilibili, and QQ groups. However, due to the underdeveloped act in this world, Bilibili can no longer let her stay there permanently, and she has to draw books to help her and pay off her debts, so now she has no extra time at all, and she is too lazy to care about a Weibo from Myobi, and what if there is another Weibo from Shuabai? Okay then. Seeing Susienner's resistance, Lin Jingshu could only agree, and then pulled Susienner to discuss for more than 10 minutes, and finally Susienner went back to the bedroom with a happy expression. And Lin Jingshu looked at the things on the bed with mixed emotions. Thanks to Daoge Orange for becoming the Dharma protector. Waving the white flag transformed into a comic book artist author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 45. Why hasn't MRS Yaojing shown up yet? All the flowers I've been waiting for have faded. You play your cards too well. What a pleasure it was to work with you. Wang Jia. Pass. Airplane. 4 twos. Are you poisonous? 23,333. When Lin Jingshu first ran to register a Weibo account and then came back to see that the fans in the group were already waiting to start playing Landlords and Mahjong, the entire group was banned without saying a word. Generally speaking, when the management and group owners ban all members for no reason, it will definitely cause dissatisfaction among many people. However, at this time, the entire group was banned, and some fans who had been watching the group started to look forward to it. At all staff, we have discussed it with Shuibai. This is the Weibo link. If there is any real-time news in the future, it will be posted on Weibo. After saying that, Lin Jingshu posted the link, and just when she was about to lift the ban, the administrator Xiaotu said, "Xiao Jingshu, read the private chat." Jingshu, okay. Later, Lin Jingshu lifted the ban on all members, but only a few people spoke at this time, and everyone else clicked on the link to follow. Lin Jingshu opened the message record with Xiaotu. Seeing that the other party had contacted her before, she said slightly embarrassed, "Sister Xiaotu, I'm sorry. I chatted too much in private before and didn't notice." "It's okay, it's okay. So many things happened this afternoon. I understand Xiaotu, as a reviewer at Station B, has no rest time in the afternoon, so he naturally knows what happened on Weibo today." In other words, when a video in the music section received more than 38 million views in just one afternoon, it shocked the entire website. After quickly sorting out the number of clicks, their entire group also learned about the Weibo incident, and then started a discussion, thinking that this music video would probably hit 100 million views in a day or two. After all, although today is Saturday, there are still many people working, so the peak of clicks will only come in the evening. This will usher in Bilibili's first video that exceeds 100 million yuan. By then, they can use it to promote it, but before that, they must leave a quiet book or a pen. Unfortunately, Shuibai did not register an up owner at Station B, so they had no choice but to find Lin Jingshu. That's it. "Xiao Jingshu, when you release a music video in the future, can it be first released on Station B?" Xiaotu said nervously. She was the most familiar with the other person, so she was naturally sent to contact Lin Jingshu. In the past, the average number of viewers at Station B was about 150,000 in 24 hours. Today, the average number of online viewers this afternoon reached more than 1 million, and the highest number of online viewers was more than 3 million. This has reached a video giant. Standing at a good level. And all the credit is due to the song Sakura Sakura Wants to See You, and I heard that this song was composed and sung by Shuibai himself, which is a testament to his talent. Don't worry, Sister Xiaotu, I'm a loyal fan of Station B. Although Lin Jingshu is only a senior in high school and is fooled by Susiener every day, she is not stupid. When a music MV video reaches such a level, other music websites and even video websites will definitely come to poach it, but Lin Jingshu has no intention of moving away, and Susiener definitely doesn't care about this kind of thing, so she directly gave the other party the answer is yes. Xiaotu said happily after hearing this, "Great, what's the matter is that our B station will promote it when you release music videos in the future. As for there are still some related things that have not been discussed yet, it will take a few days. I will contact you again then." Okay. Although Lin Jingshu was confused about other related content, she didn't ask. While the two were discussing, Lin Jingshu didn't know that the Weibo account she had just registered for Shui Jingjushi had been occupied by fans. Coupled with the spontaneous publicity from fans and the fact that this time period is a busy time on the internet, almost everyone who knew about the hotly searched event at noon immediately paid attention to Jushi Shui Jing. Lin Jingshu posted 3 Weibo posts just after registering. "I registered a Weibo account at the request of fans. This account is a shared account between my Jingshu and my roommate Shuibai, so I named it Shui Jingjushi. My roommate Shuibai is very busy every day, plus he is in his senior year of high school. So I will manage this account most of the time. If your idol wants to cover Sakura Sakura Wants to See You, you can do it at any time. Shuibai and I are both your fans. As girls, Shuibai and I both feel that happiness must be achieved by ourselves, so we can't be matchmakers. The last one, according to Susiener, is, this guy actually let so many fans dig up information about us. It's simply covered online violence. It's fine if I don't send him a court summons. He also wants me to help him chase women, it's just a dream, wouldn't it be nice to just be a single dog? Of course, Lin Jingshu consciously translated it into the third sentence. When Lin Jingshu asked Susiener if she liked Asada Sayori, Susiener said clearly that the other party's singing was okay and not unpleasant to listen to, which directly annoyed Lin Jingshu. In the blink of an eye, Susiener became Asada Sayori on Weibo. Fan of weaving. When they saw the third Weibo post, everyone burst into laughter. It seems that Chen Xiao has a long way to go. After being notified by fans, Chen Xiao and Asada Sayori also learned about Shuijing Jushi's news immediately, and even left messages directly. At Shuijing, thank you two little cuties, but I still have to buy the cover rights, so when you see this message, please add me as your QQ friend. I have sent my QQ number to your private message. Also, at Chen Xiao, did you hear that? You have to fight for happiness yourself. At Shuijing, the two little teachers are right. Please add my QQ and teach me how to pursue your idol. At Asada Sayori, rest assured that you can't escape with the guidance of the two teachers. Some people who are slow to react, seeing Chen Xiao's Weibo, are making a fuss under the other party's Weibo, saying that the other party is not enough to pursue Asada Sayori, but also wants to flirt with the two little sisters. Of course, people with eyes can see that Asada Sayori and Chen Xiao want to add Jingshu and Shuabai's QQ completely to pull the two into the entertainment industry. This makes many singers envious, a Chinese pop king and a Japanese pop queen. Although they are in different groups, as long as they get to know the two, if Shuijing and the others want to enter the entertainment industry, their star journey may be very easy. Especially Shuabai, the other party became famous completely because of the quality of his songs. In one afternoon, everyone in the music circle knew him, and everyone followed Shuijing Jushi's Weibo because of Shuabai's song Sakura Sakura Wants to See You. And some well-informed people also learned that Li Wei was reprimanded by the top management for this matter, saying that the other party found a good seedling and pushed it to the public instead of recruiting it into the company, which made the top management very angry. Gabriel has updated, and he has risen from the coffin. I saw someone asking about the group. Because the performance of this book is a mess, it seems that not many people like it, so the collection is terrible, so I just don't bother to create a group. Anyway, few people will join the group. I'll wait until I have 10,000 collections. How long will this time be, Ovo? Finally, I ask for recommendation votes every day equals omega equals. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 47. Shocked, a blogger got 40 million followers overnight. The reason is a song Sakura Sakura Wants to See You sings all the most beautiful things in the world. Chen Xiao, Shuabai is a genius with a unique voice that makes people linger after listening to it. Sakura Sakura Wants to See You is the most beautiful Japanese song in recent years, and it is undoubtedly a classic. Asada Sayori admits that the cover cannot surpass the original. The next day, whether it was online news or newspapers, they all reported what happened yesterday, while the entertainment newspaper and entertainment section were all about what happened yesterday afternoon, making this song known to all Chinese overnight. Some people who were not well informed also gradually learned the news and clicked on the link to B station with curiosity. And the singers enviously watched Shuijing Jushi's Weibo followers increase from 0 to nearly 30 million overnight, and it is still increasing. Weibo was very lively last night. Several actors who shot the MV were more or less followed because of this music MV, especially Su Ying, who was mistaken for Shuabai before, which led to a surge in the other party's attention in the early stage. Several people thanked Susiana on Weibo, especially Su Ying, who called Lin Jingshu to thank her and wanted to treat her to dinner, but was declined by Lin Jingshu. As for Susiana, she stayed in her room drawing books. In the next few days, when people in the music circle thought that Shui Jingjushi would take advantage of this trend, join an entertainment company, and then be packaged to debut, they found that there was no movement at all. In this network where there are always new things, if you don't take the initiative, then the trend will soon pass. It was not until 3 days later, when there was no major news on Shui Jingjushi's Weibo, that everyone finally realized that it was obvious that these two little girls had no intention of debuting. This made some people in the industry sigh that it was a pity. After all, although it is not uncommon to become famous overnight, it is very rare to be as popular as Sakura Sakura Wants to See You. As long as Shui Bai debuts while it is hot, she can become a well-known singer in a short period of time. With a few years of precipitation, perhaps it won't take a few years for China to give birth to another queen. The classic of Sakura Sakura Wants to See You is unquestionable, but it's a pity that the singer didn't seize the opportunity, which is a pity. In the past few days of the internet noise, when everyone was immersed in the touching of Sakura Sakura Wants to See You, there was still a group of hungry children in the Myobi Teacher Protection Association waiting for Susiana to save them. By the way, today is the 8th day, right? Where's the color version of the Suxian series? Have we been delayed? Myobi Teacher is only a high school student, so of course her studies are the priority. If it's delayed, it's delayed. I just hope that the Suxian series won't be discontinued. That, big guys, let me ask a question, why is the style of the inner area so different from that of Myobi Teacher? I just started reading the comics yesterday. If it weren't for Myobi Teacher's comics, I would have almost died of poison. I envy the newbies who didn't read those comics before. Now I hold Myobi Teacher's comics and read them over and over again all day long. I can't even get tired of black and white comics. I can only say that Myobi Teacher is really awesome. At all members, hurry up. Myobi Teacher has updated. Not only is there a color version, but there is also a second episode. This authority dog is now looking forward to the third episode, a mature lady, and she is also my aunt. What a sense of sin. Myobi Teacher is awesome. The second episode? Although many people are looking forward to the second episode, they also know that it takes a long time for a cartoonist to draw a comic, so this week they just hope to see the color version of the Susian series. But they didn't expect that Myobi Teacher not only colored it, but also drew the second episode. Let's listen to what the authority dog said. Is there another pit at the end of the second episode? This made many people wail. The reason why they were so anxious to read the second episode was that the last page of the first episode had a pit, and now it's coming again? Myobi Teacher, you are a dog who breaks the chapter. I am guilty, I shouldn't question Myobi Teacher, reward 100,000 moral values to reflect on it. After the administrator notified, the administrators of other fan groups also notified at the same time. Obviously, with Susiana's current popularity, it is impossible for a QQ group to catch all the fans, so many administrators came to Susiana and said that the QQ group must be expanded, otherwise many fans will be homeless. Susiana naturally agreed. Anyway, she just needed to be a group owner. There was no need to manage the group. These administrators were very experienced in managing QQ groups and there was no need for her to intervene. Susiana's Susian series, The Little Girl Next Door shocked the entire Tencent animation. More than 10 days have passed since Susiana released Susian series, The Delivery Girl. During these 10 days, due to the lapse of time and the sluggish reward, Susian series has always been ranked second in the sales list. But the cartoonists always remembered the fear of being dominated by Myobi before, and with the previous experience of Lin Suekin, everyone watched silently, and when the second episode came, they suddenly felt the horror of Myobi. Many orthodox comics circles found that after Myobi released the second episode, their fan groups actually notified members to watch it. And this radiation spread was not limited to some orthodox cartoonists who had a demonic aura also discovered this problem. It was obvious that their fans were also seduced by Myobi. As for the book world, since Myobi entered the comic book world, many cartoonists who had been updating steadily have stopped updating. Then he sent a message saying that he was studying the painting style of teacher Myobi, so the style of painting will be greatly changed next time we meet, so readers should look forward to it. As a result, readers did not complain, but expressed their expectations one after another, which made many cartoonists realize that readers have long been disgusted with the current style of painting. The reason why their sales are stable is entirely because they have no new paintings. The wind appeared, so I could only hold my nose and recognize it. Now Myobi has created a new style of painting. Even black and white comics have left behind orthodox comics for more than 10 days. At one point, the saint was hung up and beaten. What reason do they have for not studying Myobi's painting style? Even some orthodox cartoonists have begun to secretly copy, for fear that they will fall behind the times. Some romance cartoonists find that Myobi's style of painting is very suitable for pure love and is suitable for the adaptation of romance novels into comics. So when Susiener was drawing the second chapter book, most cartoonists began to copy her style of painting. But even if Susiener knew it, she wouldn't care, or that was her purpose. The world's style of painting has gone awry, and if it is corrected, these comic book artists will create more books for her to eat. When a large number of readers and even cartoonists finished reading Susiener's series, The Little Girl Next Door, an hour later, such a post appeared in the Manga House forum. Is this year's comic newcomer competition predetermined to have a good writing? How can newcomers like us survive with this style of painting? The title of the book has been changed to Transformation Book Cartoonist. The editor of the previous title said it was too high profile ahem. Also, no racing in the book review section. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 48. As we all know, every year Tencent Comics, Yuyokai and Manhua's Hijiya Forum jointly hold a new comics competition, which is an opportunity for newcomers to come forward. But this year, a man named Myobi appeared. Now Myobi has more than 5 million fans on Weibo. Is this guy also a newcomer? He can even participate in this newcomer competition? With Myobi's style, as long as he participates in the newcomer competition, isn't this a disguised internal appointment? His style can add 80 points. As long as the comic plot is not stupid, wouldn't the first place be his? So, I think this guy can't be considered a newcomer at all and should be disqualified. This article is Myobi selected for this year's comics newcomer competition? How can we newcomers survive with the other party's style? Instantly gathered most of the cartoonists in Manhua's Hijiya. The main reason is that this post resonated with them, but no one came out to take the lead. And just now they have seen Myobi's influence in the comics industry. Basically, their fan base has more or less fans of Myobi. What the op said is right. With Myobi's style, who can compete with him? In fact, I think Myobi should participate in the competition with a traditional style for the fairness of the newcomer competition. Myobi is too popular now, and it's not the momentum of a newcomer at all. Which newcomer can beat the Saint as soon as he debuts? Tencent Animation allows Myobi, a newcomer, to participate. Isn't this cheating? When various cartoonists made their comments, some discerning people sneered. What a joke. It's the other person's ability to create a new style. If you have the guts, you can also be a pioneer. This newcomer competition is a competition in the orthodox comics industry. The book industry has never been recorded, so Myobi is really a newcomer. I think you are too pessimistic. I have read Myobi's books. The style is indeed very edible, but the plot logic is not sound. Maybe he is not good at orthodox comics at all. I just want to say to Myobi, can you not always end at such a ecstatic place? Damn, the protagonists ant just showed up, and the black silk long legs were gone before I could lick them enough. Various arguments filled the post, and the reason why everyone was so excited today was that the theme of this newcomer comic competition would be revealed in an hour. Every year, Tencent Comics, Yuyeokai and Manhua's Hijiya will select the theme of the competition in a systematic and random way from the major categories. In the orthodox comics circle, it is impossible for everyone to be good at all themes, which is the same as novels. Some people are good at writing urban articles, some are good at writing game articles, and some are good at writing fantasy. In the early days of the new manga competition, there was no such system selection. But each reviewer has his own favorite taste, and as long as he sees the comics of his favorite theme, he will naturally be biased. This has caused everyone to have different first place in their hearts, and the cartoonists also feel that such a competition does not reflect fairness at all, so they simply choose the theme competition directly. As for choosing a theme that some cartoonists are not good at, sorry, you can only blame your bad luck. After all, there is no perfect thing in the world. It's just that in this newcomer competition, due to the sudden appearance of Myobi, although everyone is very excited, the desire to participate is much smaller. Because what the host said is not wrong, Myobi's style alone can conquer the reviewers, and as long as the plot is not stupid, isn't it a sure first place? Some cartoonists who have made sufficient preparations are even more dissatisfied when they see this. After all, how can this be played? And the other party's style has only appeared for about 10 days, and they want to imitate it too late. Time passed slowly, and when it was 7 o'clock in the evening, the theme of the competition was finally selected in the expectation of all the orthodox cartoonists. Countless pairs of eyes stared at the pages of the 3 websites and refreshed slightly. This year's new comic competition has been selected by the system as suspense and reasoning. Suspense and reasoning? When everyone saw these 4 words, they were stunned for a moment, and then they all smiled strangely for no reason. All of a sudden, the whole circle of orthodox cartoonists became lively. It's suspense and reasoning. I thought Myobi was really going to be the first, but I didn't expect it to be a sudden turn of events. Myobi pills. Suspense and reasoning. Everyone was stunned when the theme came out, and then those cartoonists who were preparing to participate were relieved one by one. Not everyone is good at suspense and reasoning comics, but the reason they are like this is that in this theme, except for those cartoonists who are extremely good at this type of comics, everyone's starting line is the same. In the comics circle, suspense and reasoning is a recognized comic theme that does not look at the style of painting. Because the most important thing about suspense and reasoning is the story, which is the same whether Susiener is in this life or in the previous life. The style of most comics is people's first impression, and some people will decide whether to continue reading based on the style of the painting. But suspense and reasoning are obviously not the case, because suspense and reasoning, whether it is a novel or a comic, are all about the plot of the story. As long as the plot is reasonable, even if the style of the comic is bad, readers will tolerate it. The key point of suspense and reasoning comics is to make readers puzzled, amazed, and even expectant, and then discuss the plot, so that readers can guess according to the direction of the story plot, until the ending is incredible or exciting, then this comic is considered a success. As for the painting style, in suspense reasoning comics, these are secondary. In other words, as long as you are a cartoonist and the style of painting is not unbearable, then as long as you focus on the crafting of the story, that will be fine. Although this world is muscle style, readers are accustomed to it, so they don't think there is anything wrong with muscle style at all. This is why cartoonists in the orthodox comics industry are happy to learn about this subject matter, because it means that it is no longer possible for Myobi to win first place directly because of the style of painting. Of course, it is impossible for the reviewers to let the other party win first place just because the painting style is good. In suspense reasoning, what you see is the plot, what you see is the reasoning, and what you see is the storytelling. Looking at the 2 chapters of teacher Myobi's books, do the other books have plots and stories? The characters have no personality, the content has no logic, and the plot is extremely lacking. It is simply useless. If the true level of Myobi is really like this, then the other party has already been declared out. The cartoonists let out a fierce sigh, and the forum, which was a little lifeless just now, suddenly came to life. I have to say that Myobi's luck was not very good. With suspense reasoning and Myobi's first step into the orthodox comics industry, Myobi accepted severe challenges. If you want to be number 1 with your painting style, it seems you can't do it. I really didn't expect it to be a suspenseful reasoning. Will this wonderful stroke of wisdom give me hope and retreat? Haha, don't gloat about the misfortune, there is a wonderful pen missing, and there is also Chiao Mo. Please vote for recommendation. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Sheng Wu. Chapter 49. Capital, in an apartment. Teacher, don't worry. Since this year's newcomer competition is in the suspense reasoning category, there is no need to pay attention to Myobi. Even if Tencent Animation finds a story scripter for him, I don't think there is much need to worry about it. Chiao Mo was talking on the phone and making coffee, looking extremely relaxed. Like everyone else on the Comic House forum before, he thought that this year's newcomer comic competition would be won by Myobi, but he was shocked by the comic theme selected by the system just now. As a writer of mystery novels, he switched to the comics industry and is extremely popular in both the novel and comic industries. Last year, he won the gold medal in the National Suspense Novel Competition and was in the limelight for a while. Unfortunately, when the novel was finished, his fans discovered that Chiao Mo had gone to the comics industry. Fans who were originally disappointed found that Chiao Mo's paintings were actually suspense and mystery genres, which made them interested. In just 1 year, Chiao Mo rose to prominence in the comic industry. In the comics industry, there are 2 very extreme types. One is romance comics, which place great emphasis on the painting style. They were okay in the early days, but now romance comics are no longer available. But now the appearance of Susieno's book style has given hope to some cartoonists who like romance. And one is suspense reasoning, which has very low requirements for the style of painting. As long as it is not too outrageous and the story is suspenseful, it will become a hit. With his suspenseful reasoning comics, Chiao Mo is gradually becoming famous as a demon. This year's newcomer comic contest is his chance to gain a foothold in the comics industry and even become the newbie king in the comics industry this year. And this time the newcomer comic competition is simply a God-given opportunity. If he doesn't seize it, he will be stupid. Of course you don't need to pay attention to Myobi. That guy only shines with his painting style, Lin Swekin said coldly on the phone, and his style of painting is not suitable for suspense comics at all. If you really force him to use that style of painting, if you enter the competition with a more innocent style of painting, you are just asking for your own death. Lin Swekin undoubtedly had more experience than Chiao Mo, and he could see the flaws in Susieno's painting style at a glance. The cartoonists in this world only have a different style of painting, but their IQ is not wrong. Kisaragi-kun's painting style is more towards strawberry 100%, which is suitable for pure love. It would be very weird to use this painting style to draw suspense. This is also the reason why Lin Swekin and some people suppressed Susieno before, because they couldn't use what they learned in orthodox comics. The characteristics of this style of painting are too strong and are only suitable for a single type of subject matter. And this is also the reason why Lin Swekin is disdainful. If the other party abandons the issue of painting style, he is a waste. Tencent Animation is really blind, and let the other party participate in the newcomer comic competition? Just ridiculous. In this year's newcomer comic competition, what you have to pay attention to is not the wonderful writing, but Lu Ping. Lu Ping, Xiao Mo's originally relaxed face was startled, and then turned gloomy. Why did that guy come to the comic circle? Many people think that Xiao Mo was invited into the comics industry by a demon, but this is only one of the reasons. Only Xiao Mo and Lin Suekin knew clearly that this was not the main reason, but because of Lu Ping. Lu Ping won the National Silver Medal for suspense novels last year, but when the second part of Deep Sea Mystery was released, there was a strong contrast in the plot, and the story was reasonable, making the book instantly popular. The murderer speculated in the first part turned out to be a righteous and upright man, and the details in the previous article have been revealed, but the readers did not discover it. This made the readers want to stop, and at the same time, it became a fire. Xiao Mo repeatedly read the other party's books, and finally found in despair that his new book could not surpass the other party. Just because of Yao Qi's invitation, he followed the trend and entered the comic industry. Xiao Mo, who has a great reputation, simply can't imagine how the media will report that he has a gold medal but the sales of his novels are not as good as Lu Ping's. As Xiao Mo's comic teacher, Lin Suekin naturally knew this, which was why he got the news and came to inform him. As for the wonderful pen, it has long been forgotten by the two of them. But you don't have to be afraid. Lu Ping was invited by Zhenyi as a script storyteller. Lin Suekin comforted, and Lu Ping only made him famous with Deep Sea, and the response to his new work was mediocre. You as a gold medalist last year, are you still afraid of him? After hearing this, Xiao Mo's mood calmed down. Lin Suekin is right. No one can always be at the top of an industry. For example, Miyobi can dominate the book world, causing major book cartoonists to rush to imitate the style. But for suspense comics, the other person may also have to intimidated. Because the characteristics of this subject are very strong, people with low IQs cannot play suspense subjects at all. I understand, teacher, Xiao Mo said gratefully. Teacher, don't worry, if Miao Bai really competes, I will definitely teach him a lesson. Xiao Mo knew that the reason why his teacher had disappeared since his last failure was because he wanted to calm down the incident. After all, the other teacher was also a face-saving person like him. While Xiao Mo and Lin Suekin were discussing, Zhao Jing from Tencent Animation got a headache. I could pick any subject, but I chose this suspense mystery. Sitting in front of the computer in the office, looking at Susienner's QQ, seeing that the other party had not replied to him yet, he wanted to make a call, but thinking about what the other party said, he held back. At this time there was a knock on the door. Please come in. Good news from the editor-in-chief, Lu Yang said bluntly with joy on his face. 1 hour after the release of the second episode of Susien series, rewards and sales hit new highs. I'm afraid that after midnight tonight, the Saint will win again. It has reached second place, and after these few days, I have found that the number of new readers registering accounts in the area has increased. Compared with the previous traffic, the number of new readers tonight is even greater than before. The main problem causing this, both of them are aware of, is that the popularity of Miyobi has greatly increased. Coupled with the tap water of fans and spontaneous publicity, the Susien series has begun to spread in a small area. Taiba, QQ Group, Weibo, people all mentioned Susien series, and some even intercepted 1 or 2 pieces and put them into mosaics and sent them out, causing many people to rush to ask. This is the main reason for the increase in website traffic. I have bad news here. Upon hearing this, Zhao Jing's expression softened a lot, but he pointed at the computer screen and said with a wry smile, the theme of this newcomer comic competition is suspense and reasoning. You also know that this theme is very unique. So I want to ask Miyobi if he should find a story scripter. After all, the evil Xiao Mo is a formidable enemy, and I also heard that Zhenyi found Lu Ping to be his story scripter. This time he is a newbie. Sigh, it's a bit confusing. Luoyang looked strange when he heard this. Actually, Miao Bai just told Li Yuan the name of the comic. What? Zhao Jing didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He, the editor-in-chief, was actually worse than a review editor, but he thought of something and asked eagerly, "What's the name of the comic?" Book of Life and Death. With this name, everyone should be able to guess which comic Susiener is going to draw ovo. Please vote for recommendation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao Bai Shengwu. Chapter 50. Book of Life and Death. When Zhao Jing heard this, he was stunned for a moment, and then looked confused. She should know that the theme this time is suspense reasoning, right? You didn't tell Miao Bai. The name of the comic book Book of Life and Death seems to be a fairy tale comic, so how could it be a suspense comic? Luoyang spread his hands and said helplessly, "We asked, and she said this was the suspense mystery comic she wanted to draw. She said that this was the name and she wouldn't change it." Zhao Jing sighed. Don't Miaobi know the importance of comic titles? Comics and novels take different paths to reach the same goal. Take online novels as an example. The title and introduction of a novel are the first impression of the reader and are very important. Many online authors like to study content, writing style, and plot, but they do not understand the importance of book titles and even introductions. Without an attractive title, what's the point of having good writing among the vast sea of books? Readers will naturally not see it unless they click into your book. So if you want to attract people at first glance, you must have a bright name. If the comic title Book of Life and Death was applied to comics in the Xiangxia category, Zhao Jing would naturally agree, because it would be eye-catching at first glance. After all, the 10 palaces of Yama often appear in Chinese legends. As long as you understand Chinese mythology, you will naturally want to click in and take a look. But in suspense? Zhao Jing shook his head. Maybe he would be laughed at. However, Zhao Jing was very tolerant towards Susiener, because she was a girl, and her appearance was a disaster for the country and the people. She was a huge hotspot in her own right, and he wanted to use her appearance to promote her. Of course, now is not the time, and Miaobi's reputation has not yet reached his expectations. This time the newcomer comic contest was the key point, and Susiener gave him such a hard time. Did Miaobi tell you the outline of the comic? The newcomer comic competition started on October 1st, so there was still about a week left, and he hoped to learn the overall story structure of this Book of Life and Death. Comics in the suspense genre are rigorous. Unlike other comics, as long as a huge bug appears in the suspense genre, the comic will be over. This is the difference between suspense and other comics. Bugs in other comics can be corrected, but suspense is linked to each other. Do you want to correct it? Basically impossible. No, the other party gave us a name and told us to rest assured. Luoyang couldn't laugh or cry. I think this kid just wants to play. Zhao Jing rubbed his forehead and said with a headache, if I had known I wouldn't have lent her money, I guess I would have had the money and solved the problem, and there would be no pressure. At the age of 17, he is indeed a child in the eyes of Zhao Jing and Luoyang, and the self-control of teenagers and girls is very poor in their eyes, and Miaobi is probably the same. Let's do this. Ask Li Yuan to tell Miaobi to write the story outline as soon as possible for us to review. If it doesn't work, we will help her find a story scripter. Zhao Jing has no choice but to hope the wonderful pen was able to surprise him, and then he thought of something and continued, also, tell her not to use the book's painting style to paint suspense. Her painting style is not suitable. No problem, Luoyang responded, and then suddenly said, I just don't know how many days it will take for the other party to reply to us. As soon as he said this, the two looked at each other and smiled bitterly. Classmate Su has eaten, come out quickly, Lin Jingshu opened the door of Susiener's bedroom and saw him sitting cross-legged on a chair, looking at the computer screen attentively, clicking the mouse and keyboard wildly, and then she looked at all kinds of stolen goods were scattered around the bedroom, and he sighed helplessly. When the other party was drawing comics before, she was prepared to help him clean up every day, but Susiener said she wanted to retreat, so she wasn't allowed in. Now snack bags, soda bottles, scrap manuscripts, pens, some things are still in a mess, which makes Lin Jingshu, who likes cleanliness, a little intolerable. But looking at Susiener's current appearance, Lin Jingshu came over curiously and saw that Susiener was playing League of Legends. This game was considered popular all over the world. The boys in the class were discussing it. Although she didn't play it, she knew it. Is this game fun? Lin Jingshu never played games, but although she and Susiener lived together, she always felt that the two of them could not talk about the same topics, or that Susiener and her had different hobbies. So she really wanted to have something in common with the other person. It is not recommended to play this mentally retarded game. Susiener heard this and replied without looking back, this game can turn a very good-tempered person into a troll. If you want to play it, I suggest you play the mobile game. You can become stronger by charging money. When the time comes, we will play together, I will support you, and you will be my little wife. Listening to Susiener's domineering speech, Lin Jingshu rolled her eyes and said angrily, do you still have a wife in the game? Yes, she is still a white, rich, and beautiful girl. She is lonely, empty, and cold, so she asked me to be her husband and gives me money every day. Now I am in a state of being kept, and she has to send me money thousands of miles away, which makes me miserable. I'm so embarrassed. Lin Jingshu was speechless and ignored the other party. Then she remembered something and said, by the way, Sister Shaji transferred me 500,000 yuan and said she wanted to buy the right to cover your song. Okay, we'll split it half and half. You just need to transfer me 150,000 yuan. Susiener was not polite to Lin Jingshu, and then seemed to feel that the other party was about to refuse, and said bluntly, your MV cost 150,000 yuan, this money must be it's paid to you. There's also 50,000 yuan for errands, so you keep 200,000 yuan and we'll split the remaining 300,000 yuan. Susiener, who learned about Lin Jingshu spending 150,000 yuan on the MV online, could only sigh that she was a spendthrift. She had never spent so much money. Lin Jingshu stared, but this is too much. This song is yours. I am not qualified to share your money. You will have to manage that Weibo account in the future. Now you are equivalent to my assistant. The 150,000 yuan is equivalent to your half-year salary. Is that so? Lin Jingshu said confusedly. She knew that some celebrities had their own assistants to manage their Weibo accounts, but the salary should not be that high. However, Lin Jingshu thought that their Weibo followers had reached more than 30 million in the past few days, which was on par with some second-tier stars. So if they were assistants of second-tier stars, it should be that high. The previous 40 million was too exaggerated, so it was changed to 30 million followers. Of course, and I've been very busy recently at this point, Susiener scratched her hair. She originally planned to live a decadent life, but because of her aunt, she had to work hard to make money. Looking at Susiener playing games, Lin Jingshu didn't feel any persuasion. I wanted to reply to some comments, but they said I didn't have a mobile phone authentication, but I clearly authenticated it. Please recommend. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 51. After playing the game, Susiener was dragged to the living room by Lin Jingshu to eat. I'm back. Before they could even say anything, Chen Shui pushed the door open and walked in. Looking at the two people eating, Chen Shui slapped the contract in her hand and took the bowl. Hey, this is not your home. Susiener was very dissatisfied, But Chen Shui ignored her at all and directly served the meal and sat next to him. On the table is MiHoYo's new contract, and the shares are still 5%, the requirement is at least 2 vertical paintings per month, and then when Honkai Impact 3 is developed, you cannot draw vertical paintings for other game companies. Of course, if you can draw 4 vertical paintings per month, this requirement will automatically be invalidated. Susiener was a little surprised, but she didn't expect that Chen Shui actually concluded the negotiation. When Lin Jingshu heard this, her eyes lit up, and she suddenly remembered something. By the way, student Su, your video has exceeded 100 million views on Station B 2 days ago. This is the first video on Station B to reach 100 million views. It seems that Station B has been promoting it these days. After saying that, seeing Susiener's lackluster interest, Lin Jingshu pouted and said, also, Station B wants to invite you to join their company. What? Susiener thought she was hearing hallucinations. That's it? Lin Jingshu conveyed what she had said to Sister Xiaotu a few days ago, and then said, they have been discussing in the past few days and said they want to invite you to join Station B. Join Station B, Susiener suddenly became excited. Chen Shui looked at it and said coldly, why are you so excited? MiHoYo asked you to join their company, and you looked disgusted. Now that Station B invites you, you will be happy like this. Hearing this, Susiener suddenly calmed down and suddenly woke up. The B station in this world is no longer the B station in the previous life. Although the B station in this world also wants to rely on AC, the production level of the series is obviously not up to the quality of the previous life, and is full of martial arts, fantasy, and fairy tales. It's also very eye-catching. The character is so muscular that it's not attractive at all. In her previous life, her biggest wish was to join Bilibili or Rampage Comics, but she never got the job. So when I suddenly heard Lin Jingshu say that, I got excited. Thinking about it now, if she joins Station B, she will definitely make an animated drama series at Station B and produce the drama series from her previous life, but after thinking about it, what a hassle. Just forget it. She has been exhausted from the book world, and now she is joining Bilibili to make animations. In her current state, she will probably have to leave her job in 2 or 3 days. What do they want me to do? After figuring it out, Susiener asked curiously. Be a station girl. Puff. Susiener suspected that she was hallucinating, and was about to say, aren't there 9.8 billion station girls? Why do we still need her to be the one? But I suddenly thought about the style of this world. Although the Q version characters in this world are very cute, as the image spokesperson of Station B, they cannot be just the Q version, they also need to be animated or even 3D. So if this problem cannot be solved, the 2233 girl really cannot appear. Otherwise, the Q version of the 2233 girl will be so cute, but the cartoon will turn out to be a muscular girl, and the audience may not be able to stand it. Also, I was also invited, Lin Jingshu said shyly. Sister Xiaotu asked you how you looked before, and then you had been drawing comics for the past few days, so I sent my photo and said you were better than the photo. I was much prettier, and then they wanted me to be Station B's girl with you. The names seem to be 22 and 33. It is a project that they have decided on a long time ago, but they have never been able to find a suitable opportunity. This time they seem to have taken a fancy to a cartoonist named Miobi, and want him to design the image of a station girl, and then find another one. 2 girls as 3-dimensional images. When Chen Shui heard the 2 words Miobi, she almost got angry and had a weird look on her face. 3-dimensional image? Upon hearing this, Susiener frowned slightly. As an act. Well, she forgot again that Station B in this world is not a pure act website. Otherwise, as a pure act website, there is no need to look for the 3-dimensional image of the website girl. Only the 2-dimensional image is completely enough. But now in this world, Station B naturally needs to find spokespersons in order to develop. Her Sakura Wants to See You was so popular a few days ago, and it was first released on Station B and directly became the first video to hit 100 million views on Station B, so she is the most suitable spokesperson for the station. In other words, it had to be her. As long as she becomes a station girl, she will be labeled as Station B in the future, and even new songs will be labeled as Station B in the future. Susiener hummed and smiled, looked at Lin Jingshu's expectant eyes and said, "Jingshu, do you really want to be a station girl? If you don't want to, there's no need to consider me," Lin Jingshu said understandingly. She knew that Susiener had always been very lazy. She would never go out unless she could. If she had to go to class, she would find various reasons to skip class, so if the other party, it would be surprising if he agreed directly. Actually, it's not impossible. Really, Lin Jingshu said in surprise, then covered her mouth and looked at Susiener in embarrassment. The look on Susiener's face made Lin Jingshu blush slightly. Actually, the first website I visited was Station B, so if I can do something for this website, I still don't mind, and it's still a station. Mom, I think it's very meaningful. Okay, I agreed, but... Susiener thought of something, looked at Chen Shui who was eating fiercely at the side, and said to Lin Jingshu, "Give her the contact information of Station B later," and then Chen Shui, "Go find B, the person in charge of the station wants to negotiate. I want 20% of the shares of Station B." Ahem. Hearing this, Chen Shui choked on his rice, patted his chest, finally took a sip of water, looked at Susiener and said angrily, "Do you think the shares are paper? You said 20% is enough." 20%. Then 15, Susiener hesitated. "If you want shares in Station B, you have to look at what Station B wants from you," Chen Shui said angrily, "and it must be the kind of necessity. Just like Honkai Impact 3, you can't find it anywhere in the world. If you have a painting style like yours, they can only support you. I can provide Station B's two-dimensional station girl stand-up painting, and the style of painting is not a problem. Moreover, my song is the first video of Station B to exceed 100 million, and the Weibo attention has reached 30 million. I can completely replace B Station B. If I have another song, it will be first released on Station B. If I become a queen by then, won't Station B make a lot of money?" Susiener suddenly patted her face, "And Station B, isn't it? Is it because of her appearance? I'm so cute and cute, I can't find anyone else in the world. Isn't it too much to ask for some shares?" Chen Shui looked at Susiener blankly, then realized that she couldn't find a reason to refute, and finally choked out, "I will talk to Station B tomorrow, but 20% is impossible. Classmate Su, girls should be more modest." Lin Jingshu next to her couldn't stand listening anymore and rolled her eyes. "I am already very humble. Do you believe that if I use all my strength, the world will surrender at my feet?" Susiener snorted. If she brought all the comics, novels, music, movies, etc. from her previous life, everyone in this world would have to kneel down and call her daddy. Just blow it. The two of them glanced at Susiener, continued eating, and ignored each other. Asking for recommendation votes.